Well, it is 7 o'clock, which means it's time for Toolbox Tuesday. This is our weekly webinar series where we help put tools in your toolbox to help you pound out problems and sharpen your saw. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Today we're going to be visiting moments of truth. We've done several of these sessions, and this is one that I think is of value. They're all of value to all clubs, but this one, right now, looking at our clubs in the district, we're going to talk today about membership strength. And we've got a really great speaker tonight. It is a past district governor, distinguished Toastmaster, Stephen Shaner. He's also a past region advisor. So Stephen's been around Toastmasters for a while. He knows his stuff, and he's going to share some wisdom with us on moments of truth, membership strength. I think that's enough of me talking. Stephen, please lead us.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Hi, everyone. And thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about this program called Moments of Truth. I'm going to share my screen. And the first thing I want to do here for you is, what's this? What is Moments of Truth? A moment of truth is an episode where a person comes in.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're not seeing your screen yet.
You're not, huh? Well, let's try this again. We had this problem last time too, didn't we? I see what I did. Okay, how about now?
Perfect.
All right, good. Thanks, Dave. Let me launch this. A moment of truth is an episode where a person comes in contact with any aspect of his experience and forms an impression of a club's quality and service. So think about all of the times that somebody has their first contact with your club. It could be your website, it could be a flyer, it could be your social media, it could be you walking down the street wearing your Toastmasters pin, somebody asking you, hey, what's that all about? There's lots of different ways that people first come in contact with Toastmasters and form an opinion or an impression of your club. That is a moment of truth. The Toastmasters has designed a program that they call Moments of Truth, where we can basically evaluate how well we're doing as a club in respect to all of those things that are really first impressions from people. So Moments of Truth has 6 high-level areas. Those first impressions, membership orientation, fellowship variety, and program planning, meeting organization, membership strength, which we're going to focus on tonight, and achievement recognition. And then each of those high-level areas has 6 bullet points underneath. These are the things that we should be doing in our clubs. And if we are able to do all 36 of these things well, we will be a successful club. If we could do half of these well, we'll be a successful club. These are very important. But again, they're a way of measure how well we're doing in this concept that we call Moments of Truth. When we present this program at the club, there's a PowerPoint that's involved, there are handouts, and there's a survey. We hand out the survey, and anonymously our members can rate us on how well we are doing in each of these areas. We can get that information back and take a look at the areas where we may be lacking and the areas where we're doing a really good job. There have been several times when I've done this when I've been surprised. There's been areas when I thought we were doing, for example, assigning a mentor. I thought we were doing a great job, but the members of the club didn't think so. So please don't assume that you know how well your club is doing in all of these areas. Please get the feedback from your members. One of the ways that I do that then is once we get all the survey information back. So this is one we did last year for my home club, Zenith City Toastmasters up here in Duluth. We had 11 people respond to the survey. So I took the first one and I just recorded the numbers in those 36 points all the way down. And then the second one, recorded those numbers. Then what I did is I took an average at the end of each row. So if you take these, add them up and average them, it was a 4.55. I did that in every single row. And then the next thing I did is anything that was 4.0 or above, we gave it green. Anything that was between 3 and 4, we gave it a yellow. And a 3, we gave a red. We then took this information back to the club. Okay, and we shared what the findings were within the club. Now, this particular one, the red progress charts displayed and maintained, our club talked about that, and they decided that having that was not going to add that much value. So we didn't do anything with that one. We took a look at some of these that were in yellow, and then we picked 2 of these that we would focus on until we decided to do moments of truth again. So that's one word of advice. Don't try and do all of these at once. Pick 1 or 2, bring those scores up, do the moments of truth again. See where you then need to focus some effort on those. So where we decided to focus our effort for the year was on this members are retained. And then we also focused on Toastmasters sponsoring new members recognized. So we focused on that over the last year. When we do the moments of truth again, we'll see that those numbers have improved. But again, decide as a club where you want to focus your time and where you think you'll get the biggest bang for the buck, so to speak. This is a great way to really see what's going on in your club. And believe me, when we did this, I got some surprises. For example, we've always had 20 or more members. We've never been below that, but the club members ranked us, at a 3.7 average, which was a little surprising. So again, please don't assume you know how well your club is doing in all of these. Get your feedback back from your members. It's important to do that. Does anybody have any questions on this part of it so far? Okay, I'm going to go back to this PowerPoint. Does come with the moments of truth when you download the program. It's just there's the 6 high levels that I mentioned earlier, and then we go into each one of those. So let's go on down here to membership strength. A club has 20 or more members. Everybody on the call happy with your membership? Everybody's got enough members and things are going well? Sadly, most of the time when I ask that question, I get no. Everybody can always use more members. Why do we like to have new members join our clubs? There's lots of reasons. New ideas, fresh speeches, new opportunities, new leaders that can come into the club. There's lots of reasons to get more members. But the fact is, if we've got 20 or more, there's just, we can kind of spread the wealth between more people. I love hearing people's stories. That's one of the things I love the most about Toastmasters. We get new members in, I'm hearing new stories all the time, not just the icebreakers, but every speech they give. For leadership, we get new leaders into our clubs, we get new ideas, we get new energy, we get new passion. So it's always important to try and have 20 or more members. Toastmasters has determined that that's the optimum number for a club to run all those roles. And plus, you don't get burned out. I've been in several low member clubs where if we had 6 people in a meeting, we consider that a good week. And it's very easy to get burned out because you got the same people doing the same things over and over again. So that's very important that we strive for 20 or more members. Next point is members are retained. Try something. I'm always fascinated to do this in a club, is go around the room and just ask, why did you join? And I promise you, if you've got 20 members in your club, you might hear some similar answers, but you're going to hear 20 different things. Okay, every club didn't join for the same reason I did, or for the same reasons that you did. They all have different goals. They all have different things they want to accomplish. We as club officers need to understand what they are trying to accomplish within this club. Our job is to help them reach their goals. Well, we need to know what their goals are. That's how we retain members. We make sure that we are, helping them achieve their goals, and that's how we retain them. We know that the average 20-member club loses about 7 members a year. And that's for a lot of different reasons. People move, people change jobs, lots of different reasons people leave. The biggest reason people leave a club is because their needs are not being met. We as club officers need to understand their needs and help them to achieve those goals. A very important part of the moments of truth. And it's not that hard. Again, ask, what are your goals? What is it you want to accomplish? On July 1st, get with every single one of your members. Say, what do you June 30th next year. And it may be, you know what, I want to complete a whole path or finish my CC, whatever it is, understand what that is and help them get there. That's how we retain members. We meet their needs, we understand their goals, and we help them accomplish their goals. Promotion in clubs, organization, or community. Lots of different ways to do that. We have a wonderful BP of Public Relations officer in our district, Diane Windingland, and she sends out emails, and she's got excellent ideas on how you can promote your club. There's also a great book you can download from the Toastmasters International website called Let the World Know. It's a great manual. There's all kinds of samples of press releases in there. You can do press releases for lots of different things in your community. Somebody achieves a CC, somebody wins a speech contest, somebody's elected an officer. Put out those press releases and get people will read those. When I first came up here to Duluth, it was very easy to send those to the newspaper and they would publish just about every one I sent out. Now that we have more clubs and you know, we're kind of trying to fight for that time in the newspapers, it's been a little bit more difficult, but we still continue to do that. We had our mayor in Duluth declare October as Toastmasters Month this year. That award was presented at the Zenith City Toastmasters Club, but we shared that with all the clubs in the community. So people are going, oh, hey, there's Toastmasters clubs here. So look for those opportunities to promote your club. If it's within your organization, does your organization have a newsletter that they send out? Do they have a training newsletter that they send out? See if you can get the Toastmasters program as part of the training curriculum. There's lots of different ways to do that. I remember when Clinton Hunt, he works at Ecolab, and he took their leadership document, which basically showed what leadership skills they expected their leaders to have, and he married that up with all of the programs that Toastmasters offered. So if people needed to learn how to do delegation, here's the programs within Toastmasters that would teach that skill. It's a great way to get more people in your organization involved. Community, open houses, there's lots of ways to do that. We actually walked around, we have a lot of high-rise office buildings in the Duluth area. So we were having an open house at one of our low member clubs. We took flyers and we went to every single floor, we went to every single business, we walked up the desks, would you mind posting this for us? And we had about a 40% rate of people saying, yeah, I'd be happy to post that for you. So we had about, in several of the buildings, we had about a 40% response that, yeah, we'll post that. And we had a really good turnout at our open house because of that. If you're having an open house, think about having a guest speaker, somebody well-known, or the CEO of your company. Bring somebody, you know, that will draw some people into your open houses. So look at those types of things. But promotion of the clubs, or you know, in the club's organization or community, there's lots of ways to do that. You may hit some brick walls. That's okay. You keep at it. No is never permanent. Just because you send in the press release once and it didn't get published, that doesn't mean the next one won't. So be consistent. Always continue to do those things. Next one, club programs are varied and exciting. Are you just going through the motions every week? Okay, or you've got programs that are fun, exciting. I think you took that cookbook and put it out on the website, didn't you, Dave?
Did take that cookbook. It is on the website. I'll post the location for it in the chat window.
Excellent. So out on the 106tm.org website, there is a cookbook. Cookbook has got dozens of ideas on how you can do different types of meetings. So vary it up, make it different, make it exciting. One of the things we did the last meeting in December is usually kind of a low turnout, so we did a reverse meeting. We ran a meeting completely backwards. And I got to tell you, I've done a few of those, and I'm always impressed because we do all the evaluations first. And I'm always impressed with how accurate the evaluations are before the table topics or the speakers or anybody else gets up there. They're actually kind of fun. So do things that are a little bit different. And on all of these, press releases, you know, programs very exciting. Go out and Google this. There's so many clubs and districts out there that publish all this information. If you're looking for themes for meetings, go out and Google Toastmasters themes, and limited supply of different themes you can do for your meetings. Lots of information out there on the webs. So go out there and investigate and come up with some new ideas for your club. Toastmaster sponsoring new members are recognized. So how might we do that? Right? Just simply announce it in a meeting. Okay, so-and-so has now joined. Maybe when you're doing the new member orientation, this person was brought in by Dave. Congratulations, Dave. Bring in 10 more this year. Thank you. So really, it's just as simple as that. Just make sure we are an organization of recognition. We love to recognize people for their accomplishments. So if people are bringing in members, we have a lady in our club who is amazing at this. She'll stop people in the hall and bring them into our meeting. She's just amazing, and she ends up bringing in a lot of new members. We make sure to recognize her for that. Regular membership building programs. What kind of things can you do there? We have 3 official ones every year. In August and September, we have the Smedley membership building drive. And then in February and March, going on right now, we have the Talk Up Toastmasters membership building contest going on. And then in May and June, we have the Beat the Clock. During each of those, they last for 2 months. And if your club brings in 5 new members during that month, you'll get a nice ribbon for your banner. So that's great. And how might something like that work? I'll show you what we have done in our club. This one is from last year. This was the Talk Up Toastmasters back in 2018 that we did. So we take all of our club members, and then we put the dates for those 2 months. And then what we do is keep track of what people are up to. So if somebody brings a guest, okay, so you can see where Mary has 5 points there, brought a guest. Ray brought a guest, and he also had a role, so he got 6 points for that day. And then we keep track of those points throughout the 2 months. If a guest returns to a meeting, that's a point. If the guest joins, that's 5 points. So you can see the focus here is on getting guests and getting guests to join. We also, if a member gives a speech, we give them 2 points, and if they participate in the meeting, they get 1 point. So we tally these up throughout the 2 months, and then whoever has the most points, in this case it was Mary, she brought a guest there and a guest there. So she's now with 13 points. So we gave her, I believe it was a nice Toastmasters mug, a coffee mug. We've given away the real nice leather portfolios. You can buy, Toastmasters, gifts and make it worthwhile. We're in the middle of our Talk Up Toastmasters right now, and it's a real close race at this point. But this is one. We've also done it where we've taken the members of the club and we split them in 2. So we actually have 2 contests. So we have group 1 and group 2, and then whichever group has the fewest points buys lunch for the group that has the most points. It's a great social activity, and to go to Subway, it doesn't cost a whole lot. So there's lots of different ways you can do that. There's lots of different gifts you can give. So find something that would give them some incentive to do this type of thing. We have fun with this, and it gets pretty interesting sometimes, and people are bringing 2 or 3 guests into the last meeting of the month, and it works out fun. At that, I'm going to see if anyone has any questions on any of this stuff that I presented, and also if you have any ideas on any of those 6 points that we discussed. I certainly want to hear them. So let's open it up, Dave.
Sure. If you've got something to offer, please raise your hand. Or, again, you can type a question in the Q&A box.
You're a shy group.
Either that or you explained everything.
I doubt that.
Hey, Stephen, while we're waiting for some questions to come in,
Mm-hmm.
You talked about recognition, and you gave some great examples of some inexpensive things that you can do to recognize members. And sometimes recognition can cost you 0 as well. And what are some ideas that you've got for things that you can do for recognizing people that maybe we don't have to make an investment on?
There's lots of things. I mean, for example, one of the things I do at work when I bring a new employee in, I've got a little sheet called and they just fill out, basically how they like to be recognized. People do like to be recognized differently. Some people like to be recognized in public. Some people rather do it in private. So it's important to know that as well.
Sure.
And then we ask questions like, what's your favorite beverage, non-alcoholic? What's your favorite treat? So I get that kind of information. So for example, I'm going through performance review season right now, and I'm given 1 or 2 performance reviews every day. They give the person a performance review. I look at that sheet and it's like, okay, this guy's favorite treat is a Reese's peanut butter cup. Okay, so $1.25, I want to give him a Reese's peanut butter cup during the performance review. So very inexpensive. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Right.
Stuff. So, candy bars, treats, thank you card. There's make up a little certificate. I mean, there's lots of things you can do that, don't cost a whole lot.
Sometimes just take the action of asking the question or showing interest in what's important to them is recognition as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We've got a question. Brian has asked, is it useful to ask a former member why they left?
Absolutely. Boy, you can get so much valuable information there. If they're willing to talk to you, you'll get an education. Pathways came about because Toastmasters interviewed a whole lot of members, but they also interviewed a whole lot of former Toastmasters people to find out, why they left. And a lot of it had to do with the program. It wasn't meeting their needs. And that's where Pathways came from. So by all means, have an exit interview, find out. And it might be, well, I changed my job and I don't have enough time right now. I just don't have time to put together speeches like I would like to, and I just don't feel like I'm doing a really good job. It can vary. We have people, they finished their first manual when we were doing CCs, and they thought they were good for life. So there's lots of different reasons, but yeah, if you can interview and do an exit interview with those people, you'll get an education. Maybe they're transferring to another club that's more convenient to their schedule. I mean, there's lots of reasons that, I'll be leaving my club here in about 1.5 years, but I'm retiring and moving. So I will be sure and give them a good exit interview though. Great question. Thank you.
Stephen, I got one via email.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, and I think we may have covered both of these questions. The first question, this is from Nancy, had sent a question in. She has done a Moments of Truth session with her club. She says, now that I have all of the forms from the club members, I'm looking to see what the best way to give the info or to give the feedback back to the club. And I think that spreadsheet that you showed would be a good way to do that.
It is. It's one way. It's worked well for us. And again, we're just taking the average and then finding out, where we look good. And on the other end of that, there was some areas where I didn't think we were doing that good a job, but the rest of the club thought we were doing a great job. So, and the things in green, we're doing well, but we want to keep doing them well. We don't want to, relax on those while we're focusing on some other things. So we want to keep doing this and focus on some things where we can improve. And again, don't try and do all 36 of these. Pick 1 or 2, work on them, bring them up, and then go back, do Moments of Truth again, then pick 1 or 2, work on those, go back, do Moments of Truth again.
Sure.
And then what was the second question?
The second question was, we seem to be a little bit low in the areas of membership strength and achievement recognition. Any suggestions on ways to improve?
Okay, we talked a little bit about that. Does anybody else out there have some ideas on any of those 6 points for membership strength? Jump in if you do.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to try something here that we don't usually have. I'm going to unmute everyone.
All right, let's have a conversation. Don't unmute that Brian Rice guy, though.
Okay.
Hi, Brian.
And actually, you can unmute yourself if you want to join in on the conversation. All right, I think I've got everyone able to unmute. I see Brian. I've got Brian Parsons. Did you have something to?
No.
Oh, you're a little bit quiet, Brian. I don't know if you're far away from your microphone. How about Brian Rice? All right.
Don't hear him either.
Nope. Well,
As for, I think she had her questions about achievement recognition. We'll be covering that in a future Moments of Truth, so stay tuned for that one. We'll get into more details on those.
okay. All right. Well, Stephen, I don't see any additional questions. We did post the two links, one to the worksheet and one to the D106 cookbook. They are included in the chat window, which you should be able to access by clicking on the chat button. And they are also, if you want to find them on the D106 website, they are on the January 29th Moments of Truth Fellowship, Variety, and Communication. There are links to both of those documents on that site. So if you go to the D106 website, go down to the Toolbox Tuesday, click on the logo, and it'll give you an opportunity to look at all of our recordings from each of our sessions. With that, this session was also recorded. If you'd like to share it with someone in your club, you can direct them to the D106 website. It will take a little bit of time to get that compiled. And this one might take a little bit longer because next week I'm going to be on vacation. So be patient on this one. We'll get it up on the website as soon as possible. I'm going to take one more look to make sure I don't have unanswered questions.
And I'll just say too, have fun with this program. It's a great program. You're going to get some wonderful feedback. Your club members will have some wonderful ideas on how you can improve in whatever areas you decide you want to improve in. So if you decide you're going to work on any of these in the membership strength, like members, members, talk to your members. What are their ideas for accomplishing some of these? So they'll have some great ideas, I promise you.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Stephen, for coming out and sharing these great ideas with us tonight. So thank you. And then also thank you to all of the leaders from the clubs who have donated their time tonight to come out and learn some of these tips. And, if we get new ideas, that helps make leaders better. And when leaders get better, everybody wins. Let's see, next week we're not going to have a webinar. I will be on vacation. I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. I'm kind of glad I'm going on vacation, but we'll be back a week from next Tuesday. And our session is, well, I'm going to keep it a mystery because I didn't look it up just before and I've got to pull up the schedule. But I'll tell you what, watch for that email. We'll send out another email with the advertisement for our next recording or our next webinar. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. This has been Toolbox Tuesday, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, everyone. Take care and have fun.